There's a call for God, I see it everywhere. Everybody's running scared, and everything's turning upside down. Well, I hear it keep coming through from deep inside of me and you. It's telling us that love is who I am. Welcome to A Course of Love. You and me, we're not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together for the start. Welcome to A Course of Love. Welcome to A Course of Love. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Put your arms around it. Know that we are. Welcome to A Course of Love. 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 Now let's come together and understand that Christ is born inside of every man. He's waiting for us to use him as ourselves. When you choose him, you know you choose me too. Everybody becomes a part of you, and then you know that love is who I am. Love is who I am. You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're bleeding the same heart. We've been together from the start. Oh yeah, tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it. Know that we are one. Welcome to A Course of Love. Welcome to A Course of Love, mighty companions. We are one. Welcome to A Course of Love. Welcome to A Course of Love with Earl Purdy. It's my pleasure to be here tonight. I love when we get a chance to get together, mighty companions. It's my favorite time of the day to join with you. I want to welcome you, Kathy. Welcome you, CJ. Welcome everyone that's coming online. Amanda, welcome to A Course of Love. That's why we do it live, so that you and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same hearts. We've been together from the start. Can you hear it? Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it. Know that we are one. We are one, we are one, we are one. Welcome, Bernard. Welcome, Emmy Lion Love. We are one. I'm telling you that we are one. I am you. And you are me. Wow. Welcome to A Course of Love, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here with me. I'm so glad that you're here with me. And I really want to encourage you to communicate with each other. That's why I'm doing the class live, not just so that you can communicate with me. I'm doing the class live I'm doing the class live so that all of us mighty companions can communicate with each other. So feel free to share with each other, comment, especially like the video and share the video. But let's take advantage of the opportunities for us to really connect with each other. I love you. Thank you for all the wonderful hearts and smiles. Let's just take a breath for a minute before I get into A Course of Love. Remember that you don't have to believe it, you don't have to accept it, you don't have to welcome it. Some of the ideas are going to be hard to believe, some of the ideas are going to be really startling. You're not asked to judge the ideas at all. It's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. I'm also going to give you an opportunity to make comments or ask questions. But tonight we're going to focus on chapter 21 in A Course of Love. Chapter 21 in A Course of Love. And chapter 21 in A Course of Love is, hello blue sky, chapter 21 in A Course of Love is Love Is. So I'm going to go through Love Is. We're going to go through Love Is together in A Course of Love. It starts out in chapter 1 saying, what page is it? It is on page 146. It's on page 146 in A Course of Love. Page 146 in A Course of Love. Page 146 in A Course of Love. Now, it says love is eternal, love is eternal, love is eternal, love is eternal, and you do not as yet grasp its meaning or the meaning of eternity. Okay, so starting right off, the Course of Love is telling us that if we want to be open to what love is, if you and I want to be open to what love is, the first thing we need to recognize is that love is eternal. Real love never ends. Real love lasts forever. So when I think of the statement that love is eternal, don't you also immediately kind of come to the conclusion that in it, love that you thought was love that did not last must not have been real love, because real love is eternal. And it says, you do not as yet grasp or understand the meaning of love or the meaning of eternity. So we're being told that we don't really understand what love means. You and I are also being told that we don't really understand what eternity means. We hear words like eternity and we hear words like love, but we're being told that we don't really understand what love really means, and that we really don't understand what eternity really means according to A Course of Love. Now, this isn't my personal opinion. I know you know exactly what it is. But according to A Course of Love, we don't understand the meaning of love, and we don't understand the meaning of eternity. And then it says love is eternal. So that seems to me like that would mean there's a connection between love and eternity. Like love and eternity is the same thing. He says this is because we don't understand love. And he also says you don't understand love and you don't understand eternity because as a particular being, you are time bound. So another definition of me as a particular being is that I am a being that is bound or limited to or in time. So you are a particular being, and you are a particular being that exists in time. So you can realize the eternal even in your temporary form. So even though we are in these temporary bodies, A Course of Love is telling us that we can still realize what's eternal, and we can still realize what is love, even though it looks like we are in a temporary body or a temporary form. So let's go back. Love is eternal, and we don't understand what love is according to A Course of Love. And the reason why, and we also don't understand what eternity is according to A Course of Love. And it says that it's because we are each particular beings who think that we are bound by time. And even though we think we are particular beings that are in time, we can still realize what's eternal. We can still realize what is love, even in our temporary form, if just for a while we are willing to let go of our particularity. Now, what in the heck is particularity? Well, it seems like you are a particular singular being, Raj. So to really understand what love is, to really understand what eternity is, then the thing that you've got to do is temporarily be willing to let go of the idea that you are just a separate particular being. Just for the time that we're going through this paragraph and this section, chapter 21, would you like to make the attempt with me to let go of the idea that you are just a separate particular being? Because if you do that, then you will be able to begin to understand what love really is, and you will also be able to tell what eternity really is. Hello, Blue Sky. Hello, Cheryl. It's good to see you online. Also, I'm welcoming my mighty companions. Don't forget, there's some cool people online. We got a lot of people online. There's some cool people. Reach out to each other. Particularity has to do with mass, substance, and form. So to think that you are a particular being, you have to at some level believe that there is mass, there is substance, and there is form. Mass, substance, and form. Your being is far beyond your imagined reliance on the particular. Do you know that who you really are is far beyond just being the particular being that you think that you are? You are way greater, much larger, and way beyond the particular being that you think that you are. Hey, Deanna. Hey, Deanna, it's great to see you online. Nana, it's great to see you online. The particular, which is what we think we are, the particular is about parts, and parts are all you see. Do you know that we just see parts? We just look around the room where you are right now. You're just seeing separate parts. I remind you of what was said earlier concerning relationships existing apart from particulars. I repeat that relationship exists between one thing and another thing, and relationship is in the intersection of parts that the holiness of what is in between is found. So you and I are having an intersection of parts, and you and I being in a relationship is an intersection of parts. And so because we're having an intersection of particulars, of parts, that's where our holiness is going to be found. That's where our innocence is going to be found. That is where the love is going to be found. It's in our intersecting parts. Wow, that is awesome. Now, having the intersection of us that makes us aware of the innocence and the love, this will be discussed in more detail later, but for now, I return you through the embrace to the holy relationship, but in a broadened form. So we're going to find out more about what a holy relationship is. There are what is called special relationships, which are based on exclusiveness and bargains. And then there's the holy relationship that is inclusive and is unconditional love. So a holy relationship is a relationship that the love is inclusive of many and all that is. And it's also a love that is eternal, that never ends. And it's also a love that is very sane. That's a holy relationship. The holy relationship in its broadened form is eternity. The eternity of the embrace. So in a holy relationship, you are experiencing love. And in a holy relationship, you are experiencing a love that never ends in a holy relationship, you are experiencing a love that would last and will last an eternity. Because the relationship is the source of all. It's a relationship that's based on our one heartbeat. It's a relationship that is eternity itself. A holy relationship is a relationship that is the face of love. Do you know that a holy relationship is a relationship that is an eternal love? Are you willing to see with me that the holy relationship is a relationship that is the face of love? Its texture, its taste, its feel. A holy relationship is love conceptualized. When you are in a holy relationship, it is actually a concept of love that you are living with another being. The holy relationship can seem to be an abstract, it says, rather than a particular concept, which means even while having a seeming structure that your heart can feel, it's a holy relationship is such an eternal love, and it's such a different love from any kind of love that we know, that it almost seems like something abstract. It almost an eternal love, a holy relationship. It almost doesn't seem like a particular concept. So even while having a seeming structure that your heart can feel, do you know that concepts that cannot be felt with your heart are of no use to you now? Concepts that cannot be felt with your heart are of no use to you now. I'll be right back. I want to close the sliding door so that all this background noise will go away. Talk to each other just for a second. Okay. One of the things I want to share with you is that when we are dealing with really unusual ideas and concepts that are different from the kind that we've been learning and that we have been experiencing in our day-to-day life, it takes a few minutes to kind of center in, to tap into that part of your mind that's ready to hear very metaphysical and unusual and abstract ideas and unusual ideas and concepts like we're hearing in the Course of Love. So it will take you a few minutes to really kind of tune in, maybe, to what I'm saying. And that's normal. The Course of Love is telling us that concepts that can't be felt with our hearts are no use for us now. I'm not interested in any more truth concepts that I can't feel. I'm not interested in any more truth concepts that are just intellectual ideas in and of themselves. Because concepts that cannot be felt with your heart are of no use to you now, because they are meant for their usefulness rather than for their service. Concepts that touch your heart serve you. Concepts that touch your heart serves you through this touch. Concepts that touch your heart, they also begin to help break you away from the need for comparisons. We need to let go of the need for comparisons. And concepts that touch your heart, they begin to help you break away from the need for comparisons. For there is no need to compare what your heart can feel. There's no need to compare what your heart can feel. There's no need to compare. There's no need to compare what your heart can feel. What does it mean when it says there's no need to compare what your heart can feel? Well, when you're feeling something in your heart, you don't need judgment. When you're really feeling something in your heart, you don't need judgment. You don't need judgment for what? You don't need judgment to tell you the difference between one thing and another. When you are feeling something with your heart, you don't need your judgment to tell you the difference between one thing and another, Raj. And so when you start to truly feel things with your heart, you can begin to quit relying on your body's eyes to distinguish the true from the false, the real from the unreal. That is an incredible statement. That's a very powerful statement. I was just told, and you were just told, that once you really and truly learn how to feel things in your heart, when you really learn how to feel things from your heart, then you stop relying on what your physical senses tell you to distinguish between what's true and what's false. You won't be using your physical senses. When you start to truly feel things with your heart, you won't need judgment and analyzation to tell the difference between what's false and what's true. You won't need judgment and analyzation to tell you the difference between one thing or another. When you learn how to truly feel things from your heart, you also will no longer need to rely on your physical senses in order to tell what's true and what's false. In order to know what's real and in order to know what's unreal, when you learn how to feel with your heart, you won't need to use your physical senses to be able to tell what's real and what's unreal. Are you willing to really see that love appeals to you through your heart, not necessarily through your mind? Love appeals to you through your heart. Someone that's really, 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 really going to appeal to you is somebody that's appealing to you through your heart. So God, who is love, God appeals to you through your heart. Love appeals to you through your heart. It is God and love that appeals to you through your heart. And right now, there are a lot of hearts on the screens. Hello, Terry. Good to see you online. So when your heart can feel, you need no judgment to tell you the difference between one thing and another. When your heart can feel, you don't need any judgment to tell the difference between one thing and another. When you're feeling something with your heart, you don't need any judgment to be able to tell the difference between one thing and another. When you're feeling things with your heart, you no longer need your physical senses in order to tell the difference between what is real and what is unreal, and what is true and what is false. Love, real love, appeals to you through your heart. So God is going to appeal to you, and God is going to appeal to me through the heart. Now, your heart hasn't been open to the appeals of love partially. Your heart hasn't been open to the appeals of love partially, it says, because of your use of concepts. So what does this mean? It means that concepts have been used to order your world. Your whole world is ordered through concepts. To assist your mind in keeping track of everything that's in the world, you use your concepts in order to help you keep track of everything that's going on in your life. You use your ideas and concepts to help you order your world, to assist you in keeping track of everything in your world. So you use concepts, you use your concepts to help you keep track of what's going on. Your mind doesn't need this assistance. To begin to conceptualize, now are you ready to learn how to conceptualize in a new way? Okay, if you're ready to learn how to conceptualize in new ways that touch your heart, do you want to have concepts that touch your heart? I want to have concepts that touch my heart. So to begin to conceptualize in ways that touch your heart, that's going to free your mind of your mind's reliance on thought concepts. So tonight we're going to begin to conceptualize in ways that move our hearts. And if we will conceptualize in ways that move our heart, then we will be free. We will be free of our mind's alliance and reliance on thought concepts. Okay, we want to learn how to let go of relying just on the concepts and thoughts that we made up in order to keep track of what's going on in our world. Tonight we want to learn new concepts that touch our heart, because if we get in touch with new concepts that touch our heart, then we will no longer need to rely on our thought concepts that we're making up, that we're trying to use to keep track of everything. And when that happens, that will allow your mind and heart to speak the same language. So do you know that in order for us to ultimately have the love and the happiness that we want, then it's going to become very important to allow the heart and the mind to speak the same language. That means that your mind and your heart are going to have to communicate within the same way. My mind and my heart are going to have to communicate the same way. In order for you to be peaceful, to be loving, and to have the kind of happiness that you want to have, Raj, and you that are listening to me, we're going to have to begin to use concepts that touch our heart. We're going to have to be free of all the concepts that we've made up, the thoughts that we've made up to try to keep track of what's going on in our world, and our heart and our mind needs to speak the same language. Your heart and your mind will need to be in alignment and will need to speak the same language. Okay, so just like you said, CJ, holy relationships moves the heart in union with God. And Terry, you're absolutely right. We need to be excited for our holy relationships. We need to be excited for our holy relationships. Okay. Now, in chapter 21, paragraph 5, it says, there has been a division between the language of your mind and heart. Your mind insists on thinking and learning in a certain way. Your mind insists on thinking and learning in a way contrary to the language of your heart. Your mind insists on thinking in a way that's contrary to the language of your heart. Your mind insists on thinking in a certain way, a way contrary to the language of your heart. And so, like two people from different countries speaking different languages, there has been little communication and much misunderstanding. There has been little communication and much misunderstanding. Occasionally, the problems associated with a lack of a common language has been set aside when the actions needed in a certain circumstance has demanded cooperation. For an example, I'm talking about you probably seeing this in terms and in times of emergency or crisis of every kind. And like the two people from different countries who do not understand each other, working together momentarily diminishes the boundaries of language, and a temporary solidarity is formed through like action. At such times, for example, two strangers who are foreign to one another might recognize that the other's heart is in the right place. Do you know that the right place with two people, as with mind and heart, is the place of no division, no separation, total union? So the right place between you and I, the right place between two people is the place of no division. The right place of you and I, the right place of two people is to be in a place of total union and a place of total joining. To be in the right place with me is for us to be in a period of total love and total joining with each other. That's being in the right place in the right time. I'm in the right place and I'm in the right time because right now you and I are joining from a desire to connect with each other in love. So we're in the right place, we're in the right time. We are in a place of no division. Do you want to be in a place of no division with me? Like Philia says, heart and mind coherence. That's exactly right. That's what we want. We want to have our heart and our mind speaking the same language in agreement with each other. So when you and I are doing that with each other, that's being in the right place at the right time. That's a place of no division. The unification of heart and mind that produces what? The unification of heart and mind produces right action. Currently occurs primarily in crisis situations because of a lack of shared language. Have you noticed that when a crisis happens, people will come together in a way that they don't come together and join in ideas of love more than any other time? Let there be a terrorist attack, and then you have all these memorials and people putting out flowers and joining in and having vigils and really connecting up from the perspective of love. It's usually in a crisis situation that there's a unification of mind and heart. Like the way that we see people tend to respond in a crisis situation, that's the way that we're supposed to be relating to each other all the time, where we're joining in mind and joining in heart for the idea of peace and the idea of love. What we see happening in a crisis situation, what you see happening in a crisis situation, Raj, that's the way you need to be all the time, where your mind and your heart are joined. There's no division. That's when you truly have a shared language. The formation of a shared language, forming a shared language, can thus be seen to aid in unification. So, for instance, the Course in Miracles is a language. The Course of Love is a language. It's a way of communicating. It's a way of joining. It's a way of thinking. And so when we share the same thought system, when we share a common state of mind, that's when we are experiencing a holy relationship with each other. And another term for holy relationship is a sane, loving relationship with each other. You can have a sane, loving relationship with someone when you have a common language, when there's no division. So in paragraph 6, it says, the embrace can now be likened to the starting point of a shared language. So you and I tonight are having a starting point of a shared language. Now, what is a shared language? A shared language is a language shared by mind and heart and by all people. So a shared language is a language that's shared by the mind and the heart and by all people. A shared language is a language of images. A shared language is a language of concepts that touch the one heart and serve the one mind. A shared language is a language of images, a language of concepts that touch the one heart and serve the one mind. So we want to communicate with each other in a way that touches our one heart and serves our one mind. That's what we're doing right now. We are all starting a new shared language. It's a language of images and concepts, and it should touch our one heart, and the language that we share should touch our one heart and serve our one mind. Okay, welcome, Ellen. Thank you for tuning into A Course of Love with us. Now remember, if this resonates, like CJ is saying, if what we're talking about resonates, remember to share, react, comment, invite friends. Let's extend this idea outward. The one thing I love about doing the Course of Love is that it's a teaching with a lot of depth. And the Course in Miracles and the Way of Mastery, the other two teachings that I share, they are teachings that are really, really deeply conscious and deeply spiritual. And it really takes shifting over into another mind other than your everyday personal mind in order to really be able to hear what A Course of Love is really saying at a deeper level, because it's so powerful. And it's so powerful in its depth and so powerful in its simplicity. So in paragraph 7, it says conflict between mind and heart occurs for an additional reason as well. And although this conflict has at its root the problem of language as determined by perception, this is a problem of meaning. What does that mean? It means the mind and the heart interpret meaning in different ways. The mind interprets the meaning of something one way. The heart interprets the meaning of something another way. You don't even begin to understand the enormity of this conflict or what this conflict means to you, but I assure you that as long as your mind and your heart interpret meaning in different ways, you will not find peace. As long as your mind and your heart are interpreting the meaning of something in different ways, you will not have real inner fulfillment and total satisfaction as long as your mind is interpreting things one way and your heart is interpreting things another way. So a person that's not in peace, would that mean that a person that's not experiencing peace would be a person that would be saying to themselves, my mind and my heart are interpreting things in different ways, rather than walking in the room and saying, man, I don't really have any peace right now. What I really should be saying to myself is, my mind and my heart are interpreting in different ways right now. My mind and my heart are interpreting things in different ways right now. I don't feel peace. My mind and my heart are interpreting things in different ways right now. And because my mind and heart are interpreting things in different ways right now, I don't feel peace. You have in the past accepted these different interpretations as natural. So do you know that in the past we interpreted having our heart feeling one thing and our minds feeling another thing or thinking another thing? The Course of Love is saying that we thought that was natural to have the mind interpreting things in one way and the heart interpreting things in another way, that this was normal and that this was natural. You see that there are two ways of viewing the situation, even if you don't label one way of viewing or perceiving being of the mind and the other of the heart, which means you accept this conflict-inducing situation. We don't think it's unusual to have our minds interpreting things one way and our hearts interpreting things another way. So as you accept this conflict-inducing situation, then you begin to think it's normal to have your heart and your mind not in alignment. What I'm thinking and what I'm feeling is two different things. So the Course of Love says you accept that your mind sees one truth and your heart another, and then you act anyway. Your mind and your heart are not in alignment, but then you just go ahead and act anyway. Even though you're full of conflict, you go ahead and act anyway. That means you are acting without agreement, and so that means you are acting without resolution. So what does it mean to act without agreement? What does it mean to act without resolution? It means that I'm accepting that my mind is interpreting meaning and interpreting things one way, and then my heart is interpreting things another way, and I think that's natural, and then I go ahead and act even though my mind and my heart are not necessarily in alignment, and my mind and my heart are not necessarily in agreement, and then I wonder why there is conflict that comes up in my experience. Well, the conflict is coming up in my experience because my mind and heart are not in agreement, and I'm going ahead and acting even though I haven't taken the time to be in alignment with myself. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for telling me that, because I know first and foremost this class is for me. Timberly, it's wonderful to see you online this evening. Thanks and welcome to A Course of Love. So, basically, a person that is in conflict is a person that is acting without unity. When you act without unity, when your mind and your heart are not in alignment, then you find yourself in deep conflict. So the conflict that you're going through in any area of your life that you're going through, any conflict in right now, Raj, you are going through that conflict because your mind is interpreting something one way, and your heart and your feelings, which are the same thing, are interpreting in another way, and that produces conflict. And if you feel conflict and you go ahead and act, then it doesn't bring about a resolution. It doesn't bring about a resolution because you are acting without unity. And just as if you were two people acting on different truths in the same situation, conflict can help but continue, because it's like two people inside of you that have opposite interpretations about the same situation, and so conflict continues to manifest itself in that situation. So the conflict is coming about because my thoughts are interpreting one way and my heart is interpreting in another way, and then I go ahead and act anyway. When I act anyway, then I keep myself in conflict because I'm acting without my heart and my mind speaking the same language. No matter which path you follow, whether you follow the path of the mind or the path of the heart, whether you follow the path of the mind or whether you follow the path of the heart, you will not get where you are wanting to go. You will not get where you're wanting to go, Raj. You will not get to where you're trying to get to. Mighty companion online watching, and here with me right now, you will not get to where you want to get until your mind and your heart are joined, until your feeling nature, your heart nature, and your thoughts and your heart, until your heart and your thought are in agreement and are in alignment, you will not get what you want. Get clear about that. And what you really want is peace. What you really want is total fulfillment. That's what peace is. Peace means total fulfillment, complete fulfillment. You will not achieve complete fulfillment until your heart and your mind are in alignment, until your interpretations of your mind and the interpretations of your heart are in agreement. Now, I want you to imagine, would you mind imagining with me three paths, okay? Path number one represents the mind, path number two represents the heart, and path number three represents wholeheartedness. So there are three paths. One is the path of the mind, the other is the path of the heart, and the other is wholeheartedness, which is a joining of the mind and the heart. Now, the path of the mind by itself will not get you to the total fulfillment and happiness that you want. The path of the heart by itself will not get you to the total fulfillment and the happiness that you want. While where the path of unity will take you, and the journey will not be the same. The path of neither mind nor heart alone will take you where the path of unity will take you. The path of the heart and the path of the mind will not take you where the mind and the heart join together. That path would take you. There are three paths. The path of the thinker, the path of the heart, and the path of the person who's joined the thinking and the heart. The major cause of conflict, paragraph 8, chapter 21. The major cause of the conflict. Do you want to hear what the major cause of the conflict is, Raj and my mighty companion? The major cause of the conflict. The major cause of the conflict that arises between mind and heart. The major cause of the conflict is the perception of internal and external differences in meaning. There are external meanings and then there are internal meanings. And it's the difference between the internal meaning and the external meaning that causes conflict. Let me give you an example. See, don't worry, A Course of Love assumes that we don't understand all of this when we first hear it. So we allow ourselves to just keep moving forward as much as possible. Then most of the questions that come up will be answered. So that's right, TJ. Total fulfillment is peace. Total fulfillment is peace. Peace is total fulfillment. Peace is total fulfillment. Peace is total fulfillment. So when you say I want peace in my relationship, you are saying I want total fulfillment in my relationship. If you say I want peace in my relationship with God, the Creator, you are saying I want total fulfillment in my relationship with God and my Creator. If you say I want total peace in my financial situation as I perceive it, you are saying I want total fulfillment in the financial situation as I perceive it. If you have a health condition and you say I want peace around my health condition, you are saying I want total fulfillment around my health condition. Peace means total fulfillment. In extreme instances, when there's a conflict between internal meanings and external meanings, we usually call those moral conflicts. What you want to do on the inside is different from what you're doing on the outside. That's a moral conflict. When you're behaving in a way other than what you really want to behave, like you're acting the way you think you should, but you don't really want to, that's a moral conflict. That's an external meaning in conflict with an internal meaning. Let me give you an example, okay? Okay, the example that I want to give you is being the individual knowing the right thing to do in a situation, but acting instead on what is accepted by your community. In other words, you know the right thing to do, but you do something else other than what you know is the right thing to do because of the way you want to be in your community. So I'm going to say that again. In extreme instances, having your internal meaning in opposition to your external meanings, this causes moral conflict. An example being the individual knowing the right thing to do, but acting instead on what is the accepted thing to do within his or her community. You know what you really should be doing in your heart, but for some reason you don't do it because you're concerned about what other people will think of you. You're thinking about what society would think of you, and maybe your peers or your friends, and so sometimes you don't do the thing that you know that you should do. That is having external meaning in conflict with internal meaning, and when external meaning is in conflict with internal meaning, that's generally what we call a moral conflict. Okay. All right. So, now, do you know that this is fairly easy to see in extreme circumstances? This is fairly easy to see. But it is a situation that exists constantly and in every instance until unity is achieved. Until unity is achieved, you do not understand that you give meaning to all things. It's not until you recognize your unity with everything that you begin to know that you're the one that's giving everything the meaning that it has. You're the one that's giving everything in your life all the meaning that it has to you. You're the one giving everything in your life all the meaning that it has to you. You're the one giving everything in your life all the meaning that it has for you. You're the one giving everything in your life all the meaning that it has for you. You are the one giving everything that is happening to you right now all the meaning that it has for you. You are the one that's giving everything that's happening in your life all the meaning that it has for you. You're the one, according to A Course of Love, you're the one giving everything all the meaning that it has for you. Raj, you're the one that's giving everything all the meaning that it has for you. You're the one giving everything that's happening to you right now all the meaning that it has for you. You're the one that's giving that relationship all the meaning that it has for you. You're the one giving your relationship all the meaning that it has for you. You're the one giving that relationship all the meaning that it has for you. You're the one that's giving God all the meaning God has for you. You're the one giving God all the meaning that God has for you. You're the one that's giving God all the power God has for you. You're the one giving everything in your life all the meaning that it has for you. When you're beginning to recognize your oneness, don't you know that when you're beginning to recognize your unity with all things, you can tell when you're beginning to recognize your unity with all things, because when you're beginning to recognize your unity with all things, you are also beginning to recognize that you're the one that's giving everything all the meaning that it has for you. You're the one that's giving everything all the meaning that it has for you. And that you also begin to realize that there is nothing and no one external to you who can determine meaning for you. There's no one outside of you that can determine what things mean to you. There's no one outside of you that can determine what things mean to you. There's no one outside of you that can determine what things mean to you. Paragraph 9, chapter 21. Before I go any further, are there any questions? Are there any comments that you'd like to make, Mighty Companion? Remember that nothing and nobody outside of you can determine what things mean to you. There's nothing or nobody outside of you that can determine what I mean to you. There's nothing and no one outside of you that can determine what this Course of Love gathering means to you. There's no one outside of you that can determine what anything means to you. And you're the one that's giving everything all the meaning that it has for you. Okay. I love it. Okay. So it seems like there are no questions or there are no comments right now. And so I'm going to keep on going. Okay. I'm with you, Mighty Companion. Let's keep on doing it. We can feel each other's energy because we're all here live together. And I can feel you. I can feel you. I can feel you. Okay. The final thing you must understand is that meaning doesn't change. Do you know that meaning does not change? Meaning does not change. Meaning doesn't change. Now, what does it mean to hear meaning doesn't change? It means that while only you can determine meaning, you're the only one that can determine what things mean to you. And while only a wholehearted approach, what's a wholehearted approach? We were told a wholehearted approach is an approach that is coming from us having our hearts and our minds joined. So only a wholehearted approach will determine the true meaning of something. So we're being asked to accept, and would you be willing to accept, that you don't really know the true meaning of things until your mind and your heart are joined. The Course of Love says you don't really know what anything means until your mind and your heart are in accord. And you can tell when your mind and your heart are in accord, because when your mind and your heart are in accord, there is no conflict. There is peace. You know that you're giving everything all the meaning that it has for you. And you also know that nobody outside of you can determine what anything means for you. And at that point, you are at the point that you could achieve peace. Only unity, only joining, however, allows you to see the truth and to claim the truth as your discovery and your truth as well as universal truth. So all truth comes through unity. All truth comes through joining. All truth comes through peace. All truth comes through the mind and the heart being joined. So don't you think that that's saying that until we have total peace, that we don't really know the true meaning of anything? And until a person has total peace, it means they don't really know what anything means. So that means that I'm most prone to make the wrong decisions when I'm most upset. It means that I'm most prone to make the wrong decisions and meanings and come to the wrong conclusions when I'm most in conflict and when I'm most upset. That's when I'm most likely to be wrong. So don't you think that would also mean that in any area of my life right now that I'm feeling fear or I'm feeling conflict, don't you think that that means then that that's the area of my life that I'm not really recognizing the true meaning of what's really going on in that situation? Okay, so that's right, CJ. Conflict goes away the more my heart and mind are joined for truth. Welcome, Elizabeth, coming online, and other people that are coming on right now. Just let yourself, some of you just want to let yourself hear it. I've gotten communications from people that the thing that they love the most is that in my gathering, they get a chance to just really, really, really go deep and just hear the truth and just hear what's being said, because that's the first step to transformation. It's just letting yourself hear it. Hear something completely different. So paragraph 10, chapter 21 says, no, I got another, I'm not finished with paragraph 9 yet. It says, seeing the truth returns you to unity and to true communication or communion with your brothers and sisters in Christ, which is your brothers and sisters in love, which is your brothers and sisters in the one self that we all share. So seeing the truth would do what? It will return you to unity. It will return you to true communication with everybody around you. So you can tell in a relationship when you all have returned to unity, because when you return to unity in any kind of relationship, you start to have true loving communication that means something. So don't think that that you've really done a great job of communicating until the communication has resulted in love, and the communication has resulted in peace, and it resulted in unity. Your brothers and sisters in Christ, what does that mean? Your brothers and sisters in Christ is an expression that has always been meant to symbolize the unity of those who know the one truth. So when we are joined in Christ, it's saying that we are joined in the unity of knowing the truth. We are joined in the unity of knowing truth. We are one in Christ. We are one in being joined in the unity that knows truth. Paragraph 10, chapter 21. Knowing the one truth is not about knowing a certain dogma. Knowing the one truth is not about knowing a certain set of facts. Knowing the one truth has nothing to do with dogma. Knowing the truth has nothing to do with knowing in a certain set of facts. Those who know the truth, those who know the truth, those who know the truth, those who know the truth do not see themselves as right and others wrong. Those who know the truth do not see themselves as right and somebody else is wrong. Those who know the truth do not see themselves as right and then see somebody else as wrong. Those who know the truth do not see themselves as right and somebody else as wrong. Someone who really knows true spiritual truth do not see themselves as right and somebody else wrong. So I think that it's important that I admit to myself that I don't really always know the truth. The reason why I know that that is true is because I don't always see myself as wrong and the other person right. And I don't always see myself as right without seeing the other person as wrong. So that lets me know that I don't always see the truth in every situation. And if I was to recognize when I was not seeing the truth in every situation, then I would make better choices. So I just as much need to know when my perception is incorrect as I need to know when my perception is correct. As a matter of fact, I believe that if I would really be willing to recognize when my perception is incorrect and not try to defend my incorrect perception, I would have peace, which is total fulfillment, a whole lot faster. It's almost like if I went around during the day and I constantly said whenever I was unhappy or having a lack of peace or getting upset, if I was to say to myself, I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. I'm really upset right now. I'm really afraid right now. I'm feeling depressed right now. Something is coming up that's making me mad right now. I'm feeling some guilt right now. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. I believe you don't like me. I hope that I'm wrong. I believe that nothing ever goes right for me the way I'd like it to. I should be saying, I hope that I'm wrong. When I say anything based on conflict or fear, then I should be telling myself that I hope that I'm wrong. Because if I was seeing things correctly, if my heart and my mind were united, I would be in a state of total fulfillment and peace. When you're in a state of unity and total fulfillment and peace, then you are really seeing the true meaning of everything. And the true meaning of everything is God. The true meaning of everything is love. The true meaning of everything is unity. So if I'm not experiencing union, if I'm not experiencing peace, if I'm not experiencing total fulfillment, then I don't really know what that means. I don't know what anything means. Okay. So if I'm having a life right now that I'm feeling any kind of conflict and fear and unhappiness, what I could really tell myself in order to get back to the truth would be to tell myself, I don't know what anything means. I don't know what this means. I don't know if I'm unhappy about my relationship. I should be telling myself I don't know what my relationship really means. If I'm unhappy with my job, if I'm unhappy with my career, if I'm unhappy with the state of my particular being right now, then I should be saying to myself, I do not know what anything means. Because according to A Course of Love, if I really knew what it meant, then I would be feeling love. I would be feeling peace. I would be feeling fulfillment. Because my mind and my heart would be in total alignment. And when your mind and your heart are in total alignment, then you have no conflict. And when you have no conflict, you feel peace and total fulfillment. And when you're feeling peace and total fulfillment, then you can see the true meaning of everything. And you will know what everything really means. So an unhappy person or a person in conflict or a person in fear or sickness or anger or upset, that person, when they begin to really wake up, they're going to know that my very upset is letting me know that my mind and my heart are not in alignment, that I'm in conflict, that I'm not seeing things clearly, and so therefore I don't know the true meaning of this situation that I'm in. So if I'm in an unhappy situation, I should be telling myself I don't really know the meaning of this. I don't know what the meaning of this is. I don't know what the meaning of this is. I'm upset. I don't know what this really means. Because if I really knew what it meant, I would have my mind and my heart in alignment. And when my mind and heart are in alignment, then I have unity and oneness, and I feel complete and total peace. And when I have complete and total peace, then I know what things really mean. Okay. Those who know the truth find it for themselves by joining mind and heart. Those who know the truth find the truth for themselves by joining mind and heart. Those who know the truth find the truth for themselves by joining mind and heart. Those who know the truth find it for themselves by joining their mind and joining their heart. Not having interpretations of their mind be opposite from the interpretations of their heart. That their mind and their heart, their will and their feelings, their thoughts and their feelings are congruent. They are in alignment. They are not battling each other. Those who know the truth. Do you know that those who know the truth, I'm going to tell you what happens to those who know the truth? Would you like to know what happens to those who know the truth? Those who know the truth become beings of love. Those who know the truth become love beings. Those who know the truth become love beings. Those who know the truth become light beings. Those who know the truth become beings of light. Those who know the truth become beings of light. Those who know the truth become beings of love. And the reason why those who know the truth become beings of light and those who know the truth become beings of love is because they see the same loving truth in all. A being of light, a being of love, sees the same loving truth in everybody, recognizes the truth in everybody. A light being, a true loving being, recognizes the love in everybody, sees the truth in everybody, sees the light in all. Whoa! That was a powerful chapter, chapter 21. Love is. My goodness, I'm going to do a few takeaways and to bring that home as part of the completion. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being here with me tonight. I want to thank you for joining me in chapter 21, Love Is. Please go to my website, earlpurdy.com. I've got lots and lots of videos that you can watch for free of classes that I've done for the last 8 years. And so I really want to make sure that you really and truly get that this is for you. We're bringing the love together. We're bringing the oneness together. We're bringing our minds and our hearts together. Those who know the truth find it for themselves by joining their mind and heart. So go to my website, earlpurdy.com. There are lots and lots of classes that are available, audio as well as video, that you can listen to on A Course in Miracles, A Course of Love, and The Way of Mastery. I also want to invite you that if you were moved and you want to make a financial expression of appreciation, as I am a full-time teacher, that's my function, and I'm glad to do it, and that's why I make what I do freely available. I would appreciate that if you would move by Holy Spirit to share a financial form of appreciation. Just go to my website, earlpurdy.com. If you are interested in counseling and working with me on a one-on-one, then also on my website, it tells you all about the services that I provide, from counseling, mentoring, to coaching, to allow you to get past the blocks and take advantage of my 35 years of working with all of this material. I'm just here to be truly helpful. www.johnchristmas.com for the music that you heard earlier also. Okay, I want to really let you know how much I appreciate all of you being online. I firmly believe that those who show up in any of my classes or who watch my videos, I truly believe that they're being sent by Holy Spirit. I believe that they're being sent by God. I believe they're being sent by the universe, which is the same thing. And because of that, I have so much love and appreciation for all of you, because I know this is a divine appointment. That every time we're together, it's a divine appointment. It's more than just, oh, I'm just sitting down for another class, or the many hundreds of classes that's on the internet and on Facebook and everywhere. To me, it's much deeper than that. To me, it's a divine joining. It's an opportunity for us to remember who we really are together, to go beyond that idea of us being particular separate beings, to getting in touch with that greater Christ we all share. And how to define Christ that we all share, it's us sharing that one self that's coming to the truth of the one love that we all are. And that's off the chain. So I'm going to do a quick review of some of the things that we talked about tonight. Is there anything that anybody that's listening had as a takeaway that they'd like to share right now, so I can share it with everybody that's online? Like, one thing I've heard tonight that I really want to remember is something that I realized that I really want to share is there anything that anybody online wants to share that they want to take as a takeaway for this evening? Because it'll be a special, powerful message for all of us. So don't forget that love is a joining of the mind and the heart. Love is wholeheartedness. Love is wholeheartedness. So here we go with the quick review. When you see the truth together, it returns you to unity. When you see the truth together, it returns you to unity. A holy relationship is a relationship that is based on eternal love. A relationship that is based on eternal love. A loving, truly holy relationship is a relationship that is based on true communication. And how can you tell when you have communication that's true? How can you tell when you're having communication? Communication that's true. How can you tell when you're having true communication? When you're having true communication, when you're having true communication, the way that you can tell when you're having true communication, the way that you can tell when you're having true communication is that you will feel total fulfillment, because anything less than real communication is not satisfying to you. When you have communication that is not satisfying with anyone, when you have communication that is not satisfying, you know that this is not real communication that has happened. Real communication is a joining of mind and a joining of heart. Real communication is based on true meaning, and you only have true meaning in any situation when you have a joining of your heart and your mind. Don't forget that to know truth means that it's not about knowing a certain dogma. When you know the truth, it has nothing about knowing a certain set of facts. Terry says, one who knows the truth is not believing they are right and another is wrong. Terry says, one who knows the truth is not believing they are right and another is wrong. CJ is saying, when someone knows the truth, she says, if I have conflict, I can know that I am acting when my heart and head are not in agreement. So if you're feeling conflict about anything, it means your heart and your head are not in agreement. Those who know the truth do not see themselves as right and others wrong. Those who know the truth find the truth for themselves by joining their thinking and their heart. Stop behaving in ways that you think you should, but you don't really want to. Don't forget, moral conflicts come about when your inner meanings are in conflict with your outer meanings. And when your inner meanings are in conflict with your outer meanings, you have a tendency to not do what's true to you because you are too concerned about what others will think. When you're in a moral conflict, it may be because you're too concerned about what others will think, even though you know what the right thing is to do for you. If you know what the right thing for you to do is, but you don't do it because you are concerned about what someone else thinks, that's a moral conflict. So as much as you can, you don't want what you think and what you feel and what you do to be out of alignment. If you want total freedom, if you want total peace, let what you think and what you feel and what you do be in total alignment, and you will know the embrace of love. Love is eternal. Love is eternal. Yeah, love is eternal. And we are right on time. That's right, Linaris. We are right on time. When you are in alignment, like we're in alignment right now, because in our minds we want truth and love, and in our heart we want truth and love, then we are not in conflict, and we are beginning to recognize and see the truth about everything. I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming to A Course of Love. Don't forget to share with everybody around you. This was chapter 21. Love is. I love you. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for being here with me tonight. Mighty companions, may the course be with you.